Okay, so a standard battle to break the current tie between Coltz and myself. He leads off with Weevil. I start off with Turbo Man here, and think what I want to do. Might pack a priority move. I don't want to get a free Swords Dance, but I'm going to protect anyway. And fortunately for me, he fakes out. So that would have ruined a substitute if I had that on here. So good thing I protected. Go for an X Scissor now. I figure he's sashed, which he is, but I've had a sash of my own, so that would have probably been okay. However, he taunts, which is an interesting move on Weevil. I don't know, maybe not that interesting. I just go for offense on Weevil myself. But does kind of screw me over in that I'm not going to be able to baton pass out. So I'm just going to have to switch now, and I decide to switch over to Meddy, who's this is my new one that's got Ice Beam and recovers the meaning of life every turn with its leftovers, which I think is pretty cool. So he sets up a Stealth Rock and goes over to Togekiss to take the Ice Beam, and takes about half from it. I could possibly go ahead and 2-hit KO it, but if you remember standard battle number 2, Scarf Togekiss and Meddy do not get along. However, this is my new Meddy. As you can see, the HP is a little bit higher, so it's taking the air slashes a little bit better. Nonetheless, I'm still getting flinch hacks, and I'm going to go ahead and go for a soft boiled, just to hope one of his misses, I guess, maybe, or something. But unfortunately, before that happens, he's going to go ahead and get a crit, and knocks me down below half. Ooh, but I get it for 333, favorite number, because it's 3 3s. And now he goes out to Weevil. Not really sure why. Probably could have just stayed in there. But that's going to give me a free soft boiled to get back up to full. So I'm not that afraid of Pursuit now, as I'm at full health. And I'm going to go out to Grenade Man to set up some Stealth Rock or something. But first thing I want to do is Rapid Spin, because I've got some guys who are not going to appreciate that Stealth Rock. And works out perfect. He taunts me, Rapid Spins an attack, so I can still do it. And it's able to finish off the Weevil. So that knocked out the Weevil and got rid of the Stealth Rock in one go. So that made me really smiley face there. Gliscor comes back in and sets up another Stealth Rock. That's just going to make me sad. So I'll go over to Shinobi Man and see what it wants to do. Unfortunately, I come in on a knockoff. So now Shinobi Man's pretty much useless. Not really much point in keeping him around. I'll go for a Will-O-Wisp here. I could sneak, but it wouldn't do enough to really be worth doing. And I was thinking maybe he might do something like set up a Stealth Rock for free or something. But anyway, never hurts to go for it. And like I said, sneak wouldn't have done much anyway. So I'll go out to Turbo Man now, try to do the standard Ninjask type thing. Protect, and then I'm going to Swords Dance up behind my sash. However, he switches, which preserves my sash, so that's nice. Get another Protect in for a third speed boost, and it's time to jet out to somebody. Since he's stuck on a Scarf Air Slash, I know I'm pretty safe going over to Elec Man. So I've got a +2 attack, +3 speed Electivire here, and unfortunately I don't have a Stealth Rock up to break Focus Sashers, and I haven't seen the rest of his team, and he's probably got a couple of bulky walls who are not going to get 1-hit KO'd. So no, I'm not going to be able to pull off a full sweep, but hopefully I can at least deal a good chunk of damage. So Ice Punch finishes off the Togekiss, and we'll see what he wants to bring in now. And I believe he's going to go over to Gliscor, and no reason not to go ahead and go for the obvious move. It's going to hurt whatever comes in. I mean, I've got +2 attack, so he switches right over to Melodic, and I don't know why he didn't just go over to it in the first place. Just gave his Melodic a little chunk of damage there. Is all that really accomplished. But anyway, I guess he was starting to get kind of panicking over the prospect of an Evire sweep. But anyway, goes back over to Gliscor now, which didn't really accomplish anything except wasting a Thunderbolt PP, and decides to leave it in to get finished off by the Ice Punch. So not really sure what he was going for there. Anyway, Tangrowth comes in, which I'm not sure why he didn't bring in the first place, because this thing's got well enough physical defense to not get 1-hit KO'd. But go for the Ice Punch anyway, just to get some damage on there. And brings it down below half, but unfortunately the Power Whip hits. I was thinking Earthquake maybe anyway, but anyway, Power Whip hit, and down goes Elec Man. So I'll bring in Meddy now, because this one's got Ice Beam, and that should be able to finish off the Tangrowth. However, he withdraws out to a Porygon Z. Gets a meaningless download attack raise, and takes about a third from Ice Beam. I was kind of hoping for a 2-hit KO, but Apparently not. Hits him with a tri-attack. Fortunately, he doesn't get any hacks, and doesn't do too much to Meddy. So I'll go for a Thunderbolt here, just for whatever reason, and I get lucky and Melodic comes in. So takes a fair chunk from Thunderbolt. So I know this thing packs Recover, so I'm not doing over 50% to it with Thunderbolt. So I figure my best bet is to stay in, try to get some Serene Grace paralysis hacks with Thunderbolt, and then go from there, hoping I can get a good pair of hacks and take advantage on that. Lands a Toxic on Meddy, not a huge deal, as I've got to run with Therapy to blow it away whenever I want. But I'm going to just keep plugging away with the Thunderbolts until I can get some paralysis hacks on there. Let's see, he recovers up, and by now the Toxic is starting to get to me, so I'm probably going to want to go ahead and take that off. He serves for a minimal amount of damage, I run with Therapy to get rid of the Toxic, and Leftovers to get back up closer to full health. So think about what I want to do here, considering switching out to something, but I just really want that paralysis on there before I can do anything else. So I'll go for it, and he Ice Beams, and unfortunately he gets the attacks before I do, even despite the fact that I'm the one that has Serene Grace. So unfortunately, like I keep saying, this one's got Serene Grace, not Natural Cure, so the freeze is kind of a problem. Tangrowth comes in, and frankly I'm content to just stay in on it. If it gets back up to full health with Leech Seed, fine. I can 2-hit KO it with Bliss whenever I want. But I'll go over to Grenade Man now, just because I want to set up Toxic Spikes. If I can get Toxic Spikes set up, and that's going to be a good way, probably my only real guaranteed way to kill Melodic, because I don't really have anything that's going to kill it otherwise. So I set up one layer, and if I were him, I would have gone ahead and went over to Melodic now, just to accept the normal poison and not the Toxic. But he decides to just leave Tangrowth in and do some Power Whips for meaningless amounts of damage. And go ahead and Rapid Spin, which gets rid of the Stealth Rock and the Leech Seed, so that's nice. Goes for another Power Whip, and I set up a Stealth Rock of my own. So got 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, got a Stealth Rock set up, and this guy's attack isn't that effective against Tangrowth, so it's time to leave here. Go back over to Meddy, try to get her on Frozen, and I get Lucky Thaw at the first turn, and I'm able to Soft Boiled up. So he goes for a Power Whip, which does a fairly decent chunk of damage, but Power Whip's pretty inaccurate. I think it's like Fire Blast-ish accuracy, 85 or so. So I know eventually it's going to land a miss, and I'm faster anyway, so I can just Soft Boiled until it misses, get lucky and it goes ahead and decides to miss now, and I'll go ahead and go for the Ice Beam, which is going to bring it down below 50%, and now I get my hacks when I probably don't need it, but get a freeze on the Tangrowth, so he decides that that's enough of that. He's not going to be able to beat Melodic with Toxic Spikes up, so that's a good game, and later days, people.